I am a focused trader who trades my system. I honor my rules. Losses are a part of my edge and a small piece of the long-term goals that I am working on. And I am grateful for this process, and I show up for the work of being a consistent trader. For me, those are realistic, actionable, functional affirmations that I can strive for every day. If I strive to consistently execute on my process, the green outcomes just come. Like, that's where you get to as a trader when you've been training for a little while and you've learned a strong technical edge, that if you can just honor it and not have big, massive tilt days, then you'll be profitable.
Just a quick pause before we get into this. Trading can be intense, and staying mindful during your session matters so much. That's why I created and am sharing a free 3-part audio experience that's helped me deeply. 1, for starting your day with calm intention. 1, to stay centered while you trade. And 1, to wind down with grace when it's time to stop. These tracks are yours. Just click the link in the description. Hey, welcome back. Here at the Market Mamas podcast, I cover a wide range of topics, from the intricacies of day trading to mindset mastery and psychological growth, with the goal of the conversations being next level growth for all of us. My name is Becky, and I'm a US-based futures day trader from the Pacific Northwest. My trading experience includes trading stocks, options, crypto, and futures, with both trading a personal account as well as with prop funding companies. Over time, I found that I most enjoy the fast-paced world of intraday futures trading, so that is my primary day trading focus now. Thank you for joining me on the Market Mamas podcast today.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Market Mamas podcast. So today we're going to talk about something a little bit different, but deeply important if you're in the world of day trading. And that is how the law of attraction and like high vibration energy status fits into the role of a high stakes trader. Now, before you roll your eyes, it isn't about like manifesting magic wins or pretending losses don't exist. It's not any of that kind of woo-woo whatever. It's about the power of your mental and emotional state and how that influences the way that you show up, make decisions, and ultimately how consistently you become as a trader, who you are and how you're able to execute day in and day out. It's sort of a portion of the bigger picture of how we want to be as successful traders. And so I think it bears conversation. And I certainly think about it and address it every day in my world of trying to maintain the right sort of energy, vibe, attraction state that is creating my most successful life. So that's kind of the energy that I wanted to create this episode from, of what serves me in terms of maintaining my most optimal state of which to trade from. So the law of attraction, right? It's like this fancy term that has been around for a long time. It's kind of oftentimes misunderstood. At its core, it's not about thinking things into existence. That's not really it. It's more about what you constantly believe, feel, and focus on, and how those internal states shape your behavior, your habits, the opportunities that you recognize and act on. It's like what you can see out of this world from that lens. Like in trading terms, you don't attract profits by visualizing green candles. You attract consistency by becoming the kind of person that follows their edge with discipline. You constantly are just in the energy of showing up for your process and your system. That's the vibe that you want to approach your trading with. The market is neutral, right? It doesn't care about your energy. It doesn't care who you are. Anyone can click buy or sell. We're all just available participants to the market. But you, me, us as retail traders, we are not neutral. I am not neutral. How I show up mentally, that makes the difference in what type of day I'm going to have and how I'm going to execute and follow my system. And so it's a different type of approach to trading in like the background of it all. So let's make it practical, right? This needs to be actionable. Otherwise, what's the point of talking about it? The law of attraction, it helps traders have the biggest impact in your mindset. So with mindset, if you think about it, if you can have the best ideal mindset, that impacts your behavior and how you're going to choose to act in your day. So let's break it down. A confident and calm behavior, mindset, energy, that sort of energy will help you stay patient. And then you don't jump into trades from FOMO or revenge as much if you are confident and calm as you approach your entire system of trading. And then what about like an abundance and gratitude mentality? This I really love because it helps you to keep you from forcing trades and chasing losses, because it's more like this market is abundant and there's going to be plenty of opportunities. So if this particular one didn't work out, like I just need to hold steady and wait, and there will be a lot more coming. That sort of positive, like openness, open to receive, grateful, knowing there's always more, that energy is much more powerful for having a long-term successful trading career. But then, having that sort of emotional self-awareness that can help you stay present and take losses with grace, because you know that a little loss is not a big deal and you don't have to spiral if that is the outcome that you're approaching. Now, you also want to have a really clear intention. Knowing who you are becoming as a trader, it kind of filters out the noise of, one day I have to be green every single day because otherwise I'm not a successful trader. But you don't have to have all that noise in your head. You can instead just look at the big picture and recognize that your system is not 100%. None of them are. And to just be more in a flow state when you trade and not micromanage every tiny aspect. It's like a gentler approach. Law of attraction, I would say, it isn't about bending the market to your will, like insisting that she's going to win to you because you've been repeating this mantra all night and morning that you are a profitable trader and every trade is going to win. That's not it. It's more about aligning your thoughts and emotions so that you can trade your plan without emotional sabotage. So you can just focus on being the trader that you want to be without extra pressures. Okay, so all that is great, right? That being said, let's be real. So the law of attraction, it does have limitations. It's not the all or nothing holy grail. It's not always masterful, right? Misusing it in trading and thinking that it will be the key to success, that is also a very dangerous approach. That's not it either. If you start believing that the market will trade, your trade will become profitable because you did your pre-market routine and you slept great and you have been really being consistent with your affirmations and your meditations, so you're going to win. What if you hold on to a loser, what if you veer from your system in that situation because you're so focused on that you can ignore the risk and you can play a little faster and looser because you've already done all this other work that just ensures that you're going to be profitable. By leveraging what you think of as the law of attraction on your side as an argument for staying in a trade that maybe the data is not continually supporting. If you, in that way, kind of rely on a vibe that you really want to believe in instead of your solid system and your edge that you have back tested and studied, then that makes you makes you gambling. I mean, you might be real happy and excited and optimistic at the start of this gambling session, but you're not as functional as you are if you're really focused on your edge in your system and your risk management. You know what I mean? It's not the same. So you can't skip the learning process. Also, you can't skip the work of becoming a good trader, of studying under a mentor, of journaling your trades, of looking intensely at what the market does with an energy of trying to understand her and grow even through the losses, having that constant learning mentality. That has to be there. And to think that success is just about energy alone, being a really positive person, really charged up and approaching the market with, I'm going to win because I support other people and I'm a great person and I have showed up and worked for a long time. That energy alone, I would argue, is not enough. So I would definitely say law of attraction is a factor, but it's dangerous if you want to be the only factor, right? It should support your process, but not replace it. It's kind of the best way, I think, to look at your vibration, your energy, what you are attracting to yourself. That should be all in alignment with your momentum and not against it, right? So then if we want to leverage law of attraction to be on our side and not against us, what does that even look like? So if we can put it into an action that supports our trading mindset, there are some systems that we could use to make this actionable for traders. So there's a couple different ways that we can approach this in order to utilize it the best. So starting your trading day, I am in the West Coast of the United States. So early session for me, New York session for trading starts at 6:30 in the morning. So I definitely wake up and I go straight into my trading system. So I have a pre-market routine that I try to be pretty consistent with, but it is, abbreviated and focused because it's very early and I, still need to make sure I'm getting sleep. I can't wake up super early and get enough rest in my life. So I get up about an hour before market open and I want to use that time to my highest benefit in order to set myself up for the best day. And by using some law of attraction principles in that energy, it does set me up for a better vibe of which to approach my trading day with. So you want to close your eyes and picture, whether it's guided or just in your own mind, like being calm and present and focused and executing on your system and your process and accepting your risk management and essentially being the trader that you have studied and you know is your most effective self. You want to call her into your mind and focus on that person with your energy and your thoughts before you open your charts and you start dabbling in what you might execute. Then feel like you can take trades that match that criteria and that you are ready to be the person that you know you need to be. You're going to respect your stop losses. You're going to be peaceful with the amount that you get when you win. And if you lose, you're going to recognize that it's one small trade in the history of your trading career. And so recognizing that that's one little swing, a mix of giant ball game, and it doesn't have to be win or loss. Having that peace and presence and ability to focus and recognizing your system as a long game activity, that is so important to set the stage for your energy coming into your trading session. And then ideally during your trading session, you want to do what serves you both best to stay in that frame of mind. So you want to try and minimize distraction. I would not get engaged with social media or any kind of extra crap on your phone that doesn't serve the focus that you need to have for day trading. Likewise, if you have family responsibilities, as I do, try to have someone help you with those during that time, or make sure that you have the ability to focus on what you're doing. And then when you're focused on your system, stay present and do your system's best your ability, but also try and stay optimistic and realistic and not carry any giant carryover on that through your trading session. So for me, I try to just, like if it stops out, then I manage my risk. And that was a smart move as a trader. And if it wins, well, my edge is good. And so that'll be a great outcome as a trader as well. Either way, my training session is relatively short and the rest of my day is going to be great. I'm just going to do my best with my process. And so repeating something along those lines as I'm trading helps keep me grounded and focused on my system. And that kind of maintains that vibe through your trading session as well. Very helpful. Okay, so when your training session is over, you definitely want to put a little bit of energy on closing it out with a positive vibe. And you guys have heard me mention this many times if you followed Market Mamas, but gratitude is a big emotion for me that helps me stay grounded and present and in a higher vibe state that serves me as a successful trader. And so what that looks like at the end of a trading session is choosing to be grateful for the opportunity to engage in the activity of day trading and for all the other things in my life that are still fulfilling to me. So whether I won or lost as a trader, it doesn't fully drive that. Like I want to finish my journaling of what my trades were, but also that I executed my process and I communicated with my people and I followed up with my mentor and I managed my risk and I was reasonable with my trading and I'm grateful for this opportunity. And that sort of just kind of helps wrap up the trading session with, again, a positive vibration that is sustaining for the long run as a trader, because experiencing super highs and super lows is really hard on a person's psychology as well as life, because there's carryover from that into everything else you do after your trading. You know what I mean? Like if you're carrying over a negativity or a big high, those emotions can be really impactful and the swings can be heavy. And so to try and just be grateful for whatever the day is and recognizing that it's your skill and your process that got you there and you're going to continue showing up that way. It's a really powerful state to stay in. So spend a little bit of time at your end of your trading session as well to just recap the day, journal it out a little bit, and try and focus on at least something meaningful to be grateful for your day, no matter the outcome of your trading session. So I have on Market Mamas, there's a couple of tracks that talk a little bit about affirmations and recommend some ones for trading. And I love affirmations. I do think that it helps remind our brains who we want to be and how we want to execute and what we want to focus on. But I do think that there's variation among them, and you want to really try and make sure that the affirmations that you're allowing in your mind and you're putting on repeat are really beneficial ones in terms of law of attraction and the vibration state that you want to be in for your most ideal self. And so, super vague ones or super positive ones. I am a, 7-figure trader. I'm a very good trader. Those are kind of generic and a little bit out there if you're an early trader. But instead, I think it's more practical to say I am a focused trader who trades my system. I honor my rules. Losses are a part of my edge and a small piece of the long-term goals that I am working on. And I am grateful for this process and I show up for the work of being a consistent trader. For me, those are realistic, actionable, functional affirmations that I can strive for every day. If I strive to consistently execute on my process, the green outcomes just come. Like that's where you get to as a trader when you've been training for a little while and you've learned a strong technical edge, that if you can just honor it and not have big, massive tilt days, then you'll be profitable. And so trying to just, make it functional intraday, these affirmations, so that they're not vague or far out in the future, but more like how I'm going to show up each day and how that's going to get me to where I want to go. Those are the affirmations that I find the most beneficial and really support this law of attraction vibration state, because it's how you want to be every day. And that is what we can actually control. It's this moment right here that we're showing up for. And so having that geared towards where you're at in your journey is also really powerful. Really, all of this is kind of about recognizing the fact that you are building a successful trading system, and that is something positive that you want to lean into and support of, instead of saying I am the super abundant trader. Instead, I am building this super consistent trader. It's about calling to you now what you need to do in the present to create all of your greatest goals, recognizing that these are the action steps that create that dream life. And by working backwards from that dream life, recognizing that I want to attract these behaviors now, and I want to engage in those in my current everyday actions. And that is what creates this. You can't have the big, beautiful mansion in the, analogy of building your foundation. You can't have this big, beautiful home without building the foundation and laying the plumbing and the cement and the structural work and the framing. These are the steps now that we're in. If you're in a messy middle trading, or you're still fine tuning the ways to get consistent profitability, this matters. Like this way that we're speaking to ourselves in the quiet moments, or choosing to direct our thoughts and pull them out of any sort of negativity or big wide swings of thoughts, instead focusing on the energy that we need to live in order to be the person that follows our process and executes a successful system. I think that is really powerful. And there is definitely a law of attraction element to that, without it having like heavy weight. More, it's just like the background energy that is supporting how you are behaving as the trader that you want to be. I think the takeaway with all of this is that law of attraction isn't about predicting the market. It's not at all. It's more about mastering yourself, about being the person in control of who you are and how your energy is, and ideally what your emotions stay kind of more level at when you approach the market. You're not trying to have lucky wins and sneak away with a big win because you just went heavy and you thought most of the things were there. That's not it. Like, I think affirming that you're going to be profitable because you're lucky and you had a great night last night and your energy's super good and blah, blah, blah. Mm-mm. It's more about attracting alignment with the trader that you are choosing to become, with the trader that gets you the outcomes that you want, the version of you that you know you need to be in order to have the outcomes that your goals hold. It's focused, patient, resilient, dedicated, and consistent. And so holding that energy in your thoughts as often as you possibly can. If you have a quiet moment before bed, in the morning especially, but then even intermittently through the day, try to just zero your mind in like, I am consistent and focused and calm. I'm patient with my children. I'm organized. I keep up with things. I prioritize sleep because I know that when I'm well rested, I think the most clearly in the morning. Like, just, it's becoming the person who gets the outcomes by constantly trying to aim your energy to the person who has those success, right? And so I really think that that's such a powerful concept that I really, every single day, am working to control for my own psychology. Let's be real, the market is tricky. Being a day trader is tricky, and it shakes out even the best people who are trying to be successful day traders. And so harnessing law of attraction to maintain the vibe of the identity we are creating, it just puts a little bit of edge in your favor in the psychology department, which I think we all can benefit of. I know that I actually benefit of this by directing those thoughts into that identity. And it makes me a little bit more solid and a little bit more resilient to the stressors of being a day trader, of what they are, right? It's good. It makes a difference. It adds up. Okay, so if you're still with me, let's try a quick little 60-second example of this, right? Take a deep breath. Hold it. Breathe it out. Straighten your mind. Let's try and clear out the clutter and just try and hear this with me. Let's visualize our charts. They're open in front of us. We're at our trading desk. We're preparing to execute on our process. We are calm, steady. You're only taking trades that match your system. So you're looking for your defined setup only, and everything else is noise that you're witnessing but not jumping in at. When you do trade, you are detached from the outcome. You're patient and calm. You're here to execute on your system, but not chase haphazardly. You're focused and you know how to be a great trader. That's who you are. That's what you're showing up for. No matter how this day goes, win or loss, you walk away proud because you followed your process. You are a skilled trader with a great process that is sustainable for the long term, and that makes a difference in the outcome you are getting. You are a successful trader, and you are because you show up with this calm, patient, focused energy. You are attracting the results by showing up this way and building mastery over time. We can do this. You guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for showing up for this episode, because I know it's not like the fancy technical analysis, low volume anomaly, fair value gap, trade entry signal video that I also have consumed because I, like this. Those are what speak to us as day traders. But I would argue that this is also an important part of becoming a successful, consistent, long-term trader, is recognizing that the energy that we bring to our trading system is a big deal. And we have the power to purposefully kind of align that with who we want to be. And that alignment kind of allows it to come into your life because you're choosing to live in the space of a consistently profitable trader and a calm, focused person who executes on their system. So I think it's really powerful, and I think it's worth this little conversation. So, if anyone else you think could stand to hear this and is trying to trade through a lower vibe and needs to kind of resettle themselves, I would direct them to this conversation, because I think if we recognize we're in a space that is not serving us, we're really crabby with our family, our trades are losing, we're crying, or engaging in substance use, or what have you, that is just really kind of negative and stressful and shitty. And it turns out more shitty outcomes are coming kind of in correlation with that. I think it's worth facing that head on and being like, I don't like this energy and I don't like the outcomes that are coming for it. So what do I need to do? What do I need to change and adjust in my life so that I can instead embody the trader that I am when I'm high vibe, high energy, positive, gratitude, focused? How do I get back to that if I'm not in that? And then everyone is different with this. I would say do what speaks to your heart and your energy and your life and your hobbies. Maybe you do want to back away from the charts for a day or two and really focus in on the people who bring you the most joy and peace, family members, friends, or even just solitude out for a hike in nature so that you can recenter your mind. Different aspects of that speak to me at different points in my life, but just doing something that can kind of snap me out of the negative energy, remind me something beautiful that I get to enjoy, and then I can kind of purposefully start redirecting my thoughts back to the type of person that I want to be. And it's not going to be a quick fix if you really get stuck in a lower vibration energy state. But if you really shine light on it and recognize that it's an area that needs attention, like, we can really influence that. I know I have pulled myself out of some rough energy patches that I've gotten stuck in. And when I get my energy in alignment and I come focused and chill and abundant and grateful, I can oftentimes turn my P&L outcomes around in the same mode, right? All right. Thanks for your time, everyone. Remember, I would say that once you get past the basic technical edge, mindset is the next edge to master in trading. And that's the one that really brings the money. Just saying, you can master your mindset and your space and your energy and your vibration and your ability to focus and trade your system. That is what brings you next levels. So show up like a professional and manage this intentionally, because it's a part of your trading system that needs to be addressed, I would argue. And then trade like the version of you that has mastered it, the future version of you that is always calm and patient and only trades their A+ setups. Call her to your now and act as that version of yourself. And then that attraction energy will bring that into your day-to-day more and more and more when you intentionally try and just bring yourself back to that higher energy. So let me know if this resonates with you, what your thoughts are on it, if you think it's just a bunch of bullshit and fluff, or if you really have seen the impact, because I wouldn't make an episode if I didn't see the impact on it. I really, truly do. So I hope that you guys found value in this episode. If you did, you're still here and you're not subscribed, why not? Because subscribe and help me out. I am, a profitable day trader, but also still mid journey with working through some of my demons and trying to stay consistent with my own process. And when I find topics of conversation or things that I'm doing that really serve me, that's how all these episodes come about. I bring on guests that I think will bring value, and then I talk to you guys about things that help me be the best trader that I can be. That's the whole point of Market Mama's podcast. So if you hear me, if it makes any sense at all, thanks for supporting me and liking and subscribing. And I really wish you guys all just the best energy, the best trading outcomes, the best version of yourself to achieve all your goals with. Take care. Happy trading. Bye.